What if the audacious goals of someone like Elon Musk, electric vehicles dominating the roads, humans living on Mars, even merging our minds with AI, what if they aren't just the products of brilliant engineering and like relentless work?
Hmm.
What if there's a different kind of force at play, something maybe akin to bending reality to one's will?
That's a compelling way to frame it.
Yeah.
And it immediately brings to mind the growing fascination with practices that explore, well, the potential of conscious intention to shape our lives.
Exactly. And that's precisely what we're diving into today. We're taking a look at the intriguing parallels between Elon Musk's seemingly impossible achievements and the principles behind a concept known as quantum jumping.
Quantum jumping.
Right. Now, if you're new to this idea, based on the material we've been exploring, let's just call it Elon QJ001 for reference. Quantum jumping is essentially a mental technique for shifting into alternate timelines where your desired outcomes have already occurred.
Okay.
Think of it as consciously stepping into a version of reality where you've, already achieved your goals.
What makes this connection so thought-provoking is the way Elon Musk, time and again, appears to just defy conventional expectations and bring these seemingly futuristic visions into, well, tangible reality.
Absolutely. And that's the core of our discussion today. For those of you who admire Musk's drive and are also maybe curious about the power of manifestation, this deep dive is especially for you. We're going to explore whether the lens of quantum jumping can offer a fresh perspective on his, well, extraordinary success.
Sounds fascinating.
And just quickly, if you find this idea intriguing and want to learn more about the actual techniques of quantum jumping, we've included a link in the description to the work of Max Westerly. He's considered an expert in this field.
Good to know.
Uh,
So let's start with the basics then. The fundamental concept of quantum jumping. How does it actually suggest we make these shifts in reality, according to the source anyway?
Okay, so the source material, Elon QJ-001, it outlines a process centered around focused visualization, clear intention, and a really powerful sense of belief. You essentially create a vivid mental image of yourself already experiencing your desired reality. Then you set a firm intention to align with that specific timeline, and the strength of your belief acts as the catalyst for the jump.
So it's about immersion.
Yeah, the key is really immersing yourself in the feeling of that future achieved state, like living it internally first.
Okay. So when we consider Elon Musk's career through that lens, one of the most striking aspects is, well, the sheer scale and conviction of his vision.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't really operate with incremental improvements, does he?
Not at all.
He envisions these fundamental transformations, a sustainable energy future, becoming a multiplanetary species.
Yeah.
And he often talks about these things as if they are already just on the horizon.
That's a great point. Elon QJ001 emphasizes how Musk doesn't just build companies, he paints pictures of entirely new realities. Think about it. Long before Tesla was, a common sight, he was articulating a future dominated by electric vehicles.
Right. And years before SpaceX was successfully landing rockets, which was amazing in itself.
Yeah.
He was talking about establishing a permanent human presence on Mars as an almost foregone conclusion.
Exactly. That unwavering focus on a future where these seemingly improbable goals are realized. Doesn't that echo the quantum jumping principle of concentrating on the already achieved outcome?
It certainly aligns with the idea of creating a strong, energetic match with a specific reality. The source material even draws attention to Musk's tendency to communicate his ambitions as if they are already in progress, like you said.
Uh-huh.
The Mars example is particularly telling. His discourse isn't about hoping to reach Mars someday. It's about the logistics, the nitty-gritty of establishing a self-sustaining civilization there.
Which directly reflects the quantum jumping practice of embodying the mindset of your future self. It's as if he's already operating from the timeline where humanity is a spacefaring civilization, and he's just working backward to make that our present reality.
Yeah.
The source uses the term locking in a new reality by behaving and communicating as though it's already a fact.
This prompts an interesting question then. Could Elon Musk's well-known interest in simulation theory also be connected to this way of thinking? He has publicly discussed the possibility, the plausibility of our universe being a sophisticated computer simulation.
That's a fascinating connection to draw, because if you entertain the possibility that our reality is, in essence, a programmed environment, then the concept of shifting between different versions or timelines doesn't seem quite so abstract anymore, does it?
Exactly.
Elon QJ-001 directly poses this. If Musk considers reality to be potentially programmable, Could he also, perhaps intuitively, believe in the possibility of shifting to a more desirable program?
Precisely. The core idea of quantum jumping involves the existence of multiple realities and the capacity of our consciousness to navigate between them. So, if our current experience is just one of many potential simulated realities, then the idea of jumping to a different one becomes a less metaphorical and potentially more conceivable process.
And the sheer pace at which Musk manages to innovate and bring these ambitious visions to life, the source suggests that this might point to an intuitive understanding of how reality functions, a way of operating that goes beyond conventional linear thinking, you know?
It really might. And what's particularly striking is Elon Musk's capacity to not just revolutionize a single sector, but to repeatedly enter and transform fundamentally different industries.
Yeah, that's wild.
Consider the sequence. From the realm of online finance with PayPal, he moved into the highly specialized field of rocket science with SpaceX.
Big jump.
Huge. Followed by the automotive industry with Tesla, then renewable energy with SolarCity, and now he's deeply involved in artificial intelligence with OpenAI and neural interface technology with Neuralink. It's like
Yeah.
a lot.
It's almost disorienting how seamlessly he transitions between these vastly different domains, seemingly acquiring deep knowledge and becoming a key player in each in what feels like an incredibly compressed time frame. Our source, Elon QJ001, actually characterizes him as a serial reality shifter, contrasting this with the more typical path of deep specialization within a single field.
And this is where the potential overlap with quantum jumping becomes particularly compelling again. The core idea of quantum jumping suggests that by consciously aligning with an alternate version of yourself who has already mastered a particular skill or acquired specific knowledge, you can, in essence, tap into that expertise.
Like downloading skills.
Kind of. It's like accessing the capabilities of a you in another reality who has already dedicated the time and effort to learning those things.
Right. The transition from co-founding PayPal to leading SpaceX is a perfect example.
Yeah.
He lacked formal training in aerospace engineering, yet he immersed himself, rapidly acquired the necessary knowledge, and became, a driving force in the industry.
Yep.
Elon QJ-001 raises the question of whether this could be an instance of Musk instinctively accessing alternate versions of himself, versions where he already possesses a deep understanding of rocket science. It's a speculative idea for sure, but his track record certainly invites such unconventional thinking.
It does.
And again, for those intrigued by this idea of accessing different potentials, remember to check out that link in the description about Max Westerly's work.
And it's a pattern we see repeated, isn't it? He didn't have a traditional background in automotive design or manufacturing, yet Tesla has completely redefined the electric vehicle market.
Totally.
The same could be said for his ventures into AI and neural interfaces. Each time, he seems to quickly become a knowledgeable and influential figure in a completely new field, almost as if he's effortlessly shifting into a new self, equipped with the necessary expertise.
Which naturally leads us to those online theories surrounding the future Elon, the notion that he might be a time traveler or somehow possess knowledge from a more advanced future.
Right, the sci-fi angle.
Yeah, it sounds like something straight out of science fiction. But as our source points out, his actions and pronouncements often carry a conviction, as if he already knows the ultimate outcomes.
There's definitely an air of certainty in his long-term pronouncements and the way he executes his plans. It's not just about making informed guesses. There's often a level of conviction that suggests he has a clear vision of the future he is actively working to create.
So how does Elon QJ001 connect this back to the principles of quantum jumping? Is it literal time travel in their view?
Well, the source suggests that perhaps Musk is unconsciously connecting with a more advanced or successful version of himself, a future Elon, and bringing that knowledge, that certainty of outcome, into his present endeavors.
Okay.
It's akin to a quantum jumper accessing the wisdom and insights of a more evolved self in a different timeline.
So it's not necessarily literal time travel in the, DeLorean sense, but more about tapping into a potential future self, more realized version. That's a really interesting perspective to consider. Less sci-fi, more metaphysical.
You could say that. And then we arrive at what the source terms Elon Musk's quantum manifestation, the idea of a powerful synergy between his mindset, the technologies he develops, and this potential for reality shifting.
Okay.
It positions his work as fundamentally altering the landscape of human possibility, both in the external world through his innovations and maybe in our internal potential for consciousness evolution.
And the source even proposes that he might be pioneering a technological pathway to quantum jumping. That's a truly mind-expanding thought.
It
Wow.
really is.
And again, if you're finding this connection intriguing, definitely explore the link in the description about Max Westerly's insights into quantum jumping, because this next part is, well,
Especially when we consider Neuralink, the concept of a direct interface between the human brain and computers. The source posits that this could become a literal tool for reality shifting.
how so?
Imagine directly enhancing your cognitive abilities, maybe even altering your fundamental perception of reality itself.
It's like you could accelerate the process of personal transformation, of becoming that more successful version of yourself that's central to quantum jumping, almost like a shortcut.
Potentially. And the source even touches on the possibility of accessing alternate realities if consciousness isn't confined to our physical brains.
Mm.
Could Neuralink, in some future iteration, become a way to interface with those different timelines?
Whoa, that's a profound implication, accessing other realities via tech.
It certainly opens up some radical possibilities.
Yeah.
The source suggests that Musk might be, maybe inadvertently, laying the groundwork for a future where we have tangible tools to consciously influence and shift our experience of reality.
But even just looking at his current approach, without even considering future technologies, the source highlights that Musk's existing mindset and work habits seem to mirror key quantum jumping principles. Let's talk about his emphasis on first principles thinking.
Absolutely. At its core, quantum jumping involves breaking free from limiting beliefs about what is possible, right? Musk's first principles approach dissecting problems down to their fundamental components and rebuilding solutions from those core truths is essentially a way of hacking reality. It's about dismantling ingrained assumptions to create entirely novel possibilities.
It's like he's not constrained by the perceived limitations of a particular industry or technology. He goes back to the foundational truths and asks, what is fundamentally possible if we start anew? That aligns perfectly with the quantum jumping idea of overcoming restrictive beliefs to access new reality.
Exactly. And then there's his consistent tendency to articulate ambitious future goals as if they are already in the process of being realized. He frequently speaks about colonizing Mars or transitioning the world to sustainable energy with this, sense of inevitability.
Elon QJ001 specifically points this out, drawing a parallel to the quantum jumping belief that embodying the reality you desire, acting and speaking as if it's already true, can be a powerful catalyst for bringing it into being.
Manifestation 101, in a way.
Kind of. It's as if he's constantly projecting his intended future, almost manifesting it through the sheer force of his conviction and his public communication.
And finally, the source underscores Musk's relentless pursuit of self-improvement and his willingness to tackle entirely new domains. His career is just. It's a testament to continuous evolution, constantly shifting focus, acquiring new expertise, and embracing new challenges.
Which, in essence, is what quantum jumping is about, consciously stepping into a more capable and successful version of yourself. Musk's professional journey can be viewed as a series of these leaps, constantly evolving into a more impactful and knowledgeable individual.
It's a good way to put it.
And for those inspired by this idea of personal evolution, don't forget that link in the description to Max Westerly's quantum jumping methods. Could be useful.
So as we kind of wrap this up, synthesize our discussion, what are the key parallels we've identified between Elon Musk's extraordinary endeavors and the principles of quantum jumping, based on Elon QJ-001?
Well, we've seen how his visionary approach aligns with the quantum jumping focus on a desired future reality. That's pretty clear. His tendency to speak about ambitious goals as already underway mirrors the practice of embodying a future state of being.
Right, living from the end results.
His serial success across diverse fields could be interpreted as an intuitive form of jumping between versions of himself with different expertise.
The serial reality shifter.
Yeah, and even the future Elon theories, while speculative, resonate with the quantum jumping idea of tapping into more advanced timelines or versions of self.
And perhaps most significantly, his work with Neuralink presents that tantalizing possibility of a future where technology might offer a direct pathway to consciously shifting our realities, a goal that quantum jumpers pursue through mental disciplines right now.
So whether it's a conscious strategy or just an intuitive way of operating, Elon Musk's actions and mindset seem to align in some really fascinating ways with the principles of quantum jumping.
They really do.
It really leaves you contemplating. Is he simply an exceptionally driven individual with unparalleled intellect and resources, just, really good at what he does? Or is he tapping into something more fundamental about reality itself?
Hmm.
Maybe even pulling humanity toward a more advanced future through his sheer will and innovative spirit.
That's the compelling question that emerges from this deep dive, isn't it? Is Elon Musk an extraordinary outlier? Or is he demonstrating a principle of reality that maybe, just maybe, we can all explore and potentially apply in our own lives?
And on that note, if you are intrigued by the possibility of consciously influencing your own reality and want to learn more about the techniques we've discussed, we definitely encourage you to explore the link in the description to Max Westerly's work on quantum jumping.
It might offer some interesting perspectives.
It might just provide you with some valuable tools for navigating your own potential timelines. Thanks for exploring the deep dive with us today.